Welcome and good morning. Today I'm out here at Haunted Hills Bike Park. It is a beautiful sunny day. There is a little bit of wind coming up over the hills, but in those trees it won't matter. And today we are going to learn how to go fast on any trail on your mountain bike. I've got my Shore with me, my trusty personal bike, and we're going to have a whole heap of fun. To a trail that I've been riding a lot recently. It's called Dammit, and it's the perfect place to start the conversation about line choice. Here we have a bit of a flat, almost flat corner. There's somewhat of a berm, but a bit of a flat corner into a roller that's quite pointy. Definitely can lose both wheels off the ground if you're not careful. And then to two options. We've got a high line which tucks inside, there's almost no berm, or a lower line which has somewhat of a berm but it ends a bit too early, and you're always looking at that stump there thinking, oh shit, I'm about to hit the stump. So let's begin the conversation. Let's talk through it. What is going to be the faster line and what's the way to gain speed through this section? Now for me, line choice is about a few key factors, some of which being repeatability and distance to destination. As you can see, this is what we see coming into this section. Repeatability talks about how regularly can you make sure you nail your line. For example, if your line involves coming right out wide and jumping across and getting onto that inside line, how often can you make that move? Is it always going to be affected? This is really key. If you're doing a race, a downhill race, say for example, or an enduro race, you only get 1 or 2 attempts at this trail, and you want to make sure in practice you're choosing a line that you know for a certainty you can achieve when doing your race run. Second of all, distance to destination. You can see here, this outside line is longer. You are doing a much more direct to destination line through the inside, but is that going to be the fastest? That's what you have to determine in your practice and in your warm-up. Let's talk about a few key factors at this section. Outside line, you have a bit more of a forgiving corner. There's a bit of a berm, but your exit out, it's a bit precarious. You have, as I said, this stump here. The berm ends a few feet short, I would say. And perhaps maybe it sets you up a little bit easier to go to the outside, which is a bit of a bonus. The inside line, I always prefer this line. I think it's a little bit easier to come around outside at the start, stay tucked on the inside, stay tucked all the way through, just carry your speed and turn down into the exit. That's another main thing to think about with your line choice. Line in, line out, and line through the section. If you nail all of these 3 things, guaranteed you will go 10 times faster than if you muck up even just one section of this. If I muck up my line in, it's going to stuff me up through the line going through the section. It's going to stuff me up on the way out, and I'm going to lose speed section after section after section. Let's now try and ride these lines and see what feels best under the circumstances. We've got a bit of a headwind coming in. It's a bit dustier today. There hasn't been much rain recently. Let's see what we can make work. We're going to start with what seems to be the most obvious line for people coming in. It's what I definitely first rode, and it's this outside line. See, I broke through, but it's still pretty easy to carry good speed and definitely sets you up nicely into that berm. Now, let's try the other way. Let's now try the second option we have. Oh. Heading around the inside. See, I definitely feel like I've carried a lot more speed through there. If a particular line just makes you feel more confident, even if the difference in time is half a millisecond every day of the week, you choose a more confidence-inspiring one. I know that I'm not going to lose grip through here. I know that I'm not going to sway off path, and I know that it's more repeatable. That is the line that I will choose for my race run. Let's go for a last option, which I spoke about at the start, involves coming out wide and almost clearing, getting a bit of air time, really using this roller here and trying to land down into the just small, very small compression that we have over that other side. Let's try now the last option, which involves, oh, really got held up in the wind there. And that really just says a lot about repeatability. That was a race day, that was a race run. Doing this gap, I've done it 3 or 4 times now, mainly due to my camera. But each time has been different. Each time I've come through a little bit slower, a little bit differently, and it really plays to that repeatability factor. Let's try that one again. See, every time, faster through, but a poor setup. So what we have here, a little bit hard to see in the shadows, but it's very obvious in person. We've got a fast section down there, a few jumps and rolls and lots of rough bits. And then we come here again, very tight inside or a wide sweeping outside. Let's have a look at the run in and see what we're faced with. This is it. So it's quite wide. We have like almost 1.5 meters, 2 meters of track to play with. So we can really set up any way we like. Either way you go, you're wanting to come in wide. Generally, going in wide to a corner is always going to be faster. You're always going to have a better exit. It's not the case 100% of the time, but 99% of the time, it's what you're going to want to be doing. Coming out, we can see, even just looking here, you can see the different angles that these two lines point you at. This one definitely sets you up better, heading down into the lower corners. The inside line, while it's shorter, destination, as I said, distance to destination is shorter. It may not always be the quickest. It's also off camber coming down through here, maybe unsettling into this next corner. And also, it now kicks around, depending which track you follow, it now kicks right round back the other way, or at least slightly back towards the right. So either way you go, you're gonna be wanting to set up sort of leaning this way with your body shifted this way so you can make that corner quite nicely. And I think the outside line every day of the week is going to offer that better. However, with shorter distance to destination, the inside line is also sometimes quite convincing. So we're going to try both, see what works better for us and see what ends up being faster. But before we do any of that, let's go and inspect the section before it. Because as I said, this method of track analysis will make it faster on any trail. So even if it's a flow trail, we have a flow section here, just a roller, just a sort of pointy roller or a jump, something that you can take air or push through. What is going to be faster? There's so many different options here. Even though it just looks like a roller and there's one main line, you can always have different options. The right line and line choice isn't just about where you put your tires, but it's where you put your energy, where you're pumping, where you're taking to the skies, where you're pulling up. It's everything. Even if you're going in the same direction, as I say through here, you can go straight through, have your tires go through the middle the whole time. Where you apply your energy, you pump here, you pull here, you're still going the same way. It's still the same line, but the way you ride it, that is your line choice. And that is how you can gain speed and gain advantage over your competitors. So let's see it now. We're going to take the inside line for starters. Nah, came in way too hot. This is one of the scenarios where it's really important to focus on your braking. So that is, again, always finding more things you can talk about with line choice. It also involves your brake points, where you're putting your energy. That's where you're pumping, where you're pulling, where you're braking, where you're slowing down. And you saw there, I did not slow down enough beforehand. I was too inside. I didn't get high early enough. I didn't come out wide enough early. And I didn't make the corner. And the last point is I didn't look where I wanted to go. I looked over the back of that corner. I thought, that's where I'm gonna go, and that's where I went. Always look where you want to go. Let's try that one again. I'm gonna pump through the rollers beforehand, no jump, and see if that line will help me get more to the outside, break more inside, and we're through and away. So that was the difference that I needed to carry speed through that section and still hit that inside line. Shorter distance to destination. It's a faster exit speed, I would say, almost. Maybe. Just because it's a little bit, you get more of a downhill through there. It's hard to tell. Let's try the outside line and see how that plays in our favor. Good work, mate. So you can see there, the natural flow of riders who are hitting it blind. They choose to go to that inside berm. That is probably, I would almost say, the main line. It's what you're led to first, turning early. It almost feels unnatural to wait and turn later because it's such a sharp berm. But let's see. I think the second line, the outside line, I think it may be faster. All right, I'm liking this. Let's give it another crack. A bit of a trail session. Pump through, brake, head out wide, pump in, out. Head out wide. I feel that can go even faster. I think that's got more juice to give. So let's try it. Let's see what we can do. As you can see, I think the outside line here is definitely the one to choose. It's the one that feels most repeatable. It's the one I'm hitting and thinking I can go faster than that. Again, I definitely think I can go faster, but for now, let's keep moving down the trail. Let's move now to the last section of the day that I think is really universal and something that will really apply to a lot of trails, and that's this section here, leading down into this last berm, and a bit of a jump there as well. Let's push back up, let's see what it's about, and let's talk through it. All right, so what we can see here is some really significant braking bumps and a big right coming out through the middle of this track right before we hook into this not tight but abrasive right corner into a small double down there. So what are we thinking through here? We've also got, so this is the section, that's what comes after it. You want to be set up nice for that. This is the section, and this is what we're dealing with coming in. We've got just a bunch of lumps and bumps, really. We have sort of berms off to the side, almost just acting as guiding banks, and we sort of snake flow down through the trail and make do what we can. A bit of a lip, take off here. Perhaps if you were really keen, you could gap over this one. Maybe I'll give that a crack, to be honest. That looks like fun. But the main section is, it comes off of that corner round, flows down through here. We've got a bump here. It's a little bit rough here, but certainly not as bad as at the bottom. Small takeoff here, and a bank out this side, a bank out that side that you're never going to touch. Just this bank out this side, and then you ease round the corner, and then face this section. What am I thinking through here? I'm thinking all of this rough stuff that is only going to cause trouble. You've got smooth edges either side. Smooth edge this side, very thin, what I'm walking on now, and a larger surface you can see on the inside of the corner. Every day of the week, outside is the way I'm going to go. It's going to be much faster carrying speed through this berm and over the jump. That is exactly what we're aiming for. We're wanting speed in, speed through, and speed out. Inside line, sure, it's a bit more safe. You have a bit of a larger surface to aim for, but again, it is going to be really tight coming through that berm and really going to set you up. Oh, sorry, mate. Really going to set you up poorly heading into this jump. Let's set up the camera and see what we can get. All right, let's see what it's all about. I'm just going to pump over Oh. See, even then I stooped down into the rougher section, but with the confidence to hold my line, that really worked out quite fine in my opinion. And I still was able to clear the jump easily. When I first began riding this trail, I really struggled to clear that jump, but now it's a breeze. Let's do it again, and let's at least see on the GoPro. I'll even try that jump actually, just up there, see if that gives me a better run in. So you saw exactly what happened right there. I did the jump pretty good, I was pretty proud of that. But what it did was set me up right inside. I came through, couldn't make the berm and couldn't make the speed for the jump. Let's try to set the camera up somewhere else and see if we can capture all of that. Let's talk through the gap leading in. So it ticks a fun category, that is for certain. It also has another benefit, which is that it removes the bumps that occur between the section that you're gapping, which is good for stability, blah, 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 keeping track, keeping on top of things. However, we do lose the chance to use our outside berm and direct ourselves towards the outside line for the berm down the bottom, which is what happened exactly in the last run. And it's really crucial that we get that bottom berm right, because the speed gained through doing the gap beforehand definitely does not outweigh the speed lost through the lower berms in the second gap. So let's try it again now, positioning ourselves a little bit more to the outside of the landing of the jump, well, the trail gap, and then also focusing on pushing out to the outside again for that berm. Let's give it a crack now. Now that worked the charm. That was heaps of fun. Heaps of fun, heaps of speed. Great opportunity to pump through that jump. Great opportunity to pump through the berm and again hit the second jump as well. Didn't get to steeze it out quite right, but the thrill of the moment took me away. That, I reckon, is the line for that section. What a thrill. All right, I've got a friend coming to meet me in just a tick, so I'm gonna push back to the top and put one last heater down, see if we can apply everything that we've just learned from the trail analysis and see if we can get ourselves a Strava comp. All right, we are riding Dammit into Zeus. Let's see what we can make happen. Keep our wheels on the ground here. That was pretty good. We'll take that. Bit of a slip there, we know we pumped here, hit the braking zone. Oh, bit sketchy through there, definitely not the fastest, but we'll continue on. Hit the gap. Ah, very sketchy run. And that's it. A bit of a slip up over the hill, lost the front wheel. No comp for me today. Maybe again, later. So, some final notes. Repeatability. I think the spots I sessioned, I hit pretty well. I think I got the first bit pretty right. The second section with the outside berm was a bit slow, but the premise was there. The third section, well, I stuffed up beforehand, came in a bit close to the trees on the right, and you saw how that ended up. But in saying that, that is where repeatability comes in. Making sure the lines you choose you know you can put down in the race run, or you're confident you can put down in the race run, that's what you want to strive for. Confidence in your line choice, confidence in what you're doing, and confidence in the track. Thanks for watching today, guys. Let me know if you want to see more of this style of video, the sort of talking through trails, talking through sections, riding at different parks, doing the same sort of thing. It's a great trail there, Red Run. Would love to get to that, but don't quite have the time. Perhaps I'll come back. Well, that is a bit of a talk through analysis of how I go faster on any trail. Thanks for watching, guys.